Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. If you're new here, welcome. If you're an oldie, a regular, welcome too. I appreciate you guys all being here. And if you're watching this at a later date, it's probably known as Keith Condensed, which is basically where I talk about a subject on the live stream and then I pull it out of it and then re-upload it. Feel free to come by and check out the live stream. I run it 6 days a week. The time is still floating around right now. But I feel like we're getting a better time consistently. So anyways, feel free to check me out on there. Let's go ahead and get into it. So today what I just wanted to talk about was actually something that I have been reading while listening to. I listen to audiobooks. I don't really read because it takes me like forever to read because I'm dyslexic. So it's completely like struggle to actual read. So I do a lot better by listening. Actually from a book called Eat People. And this book is written by Andy Kessler, who basically worked for AT&T and then went to work for a Wall Street company and was in charge of analyzing new companies that were going to boom. And so in there, he talks about the difference between a company that's vertical and a company that's horizontal and what all that actually means. In there, he does talk a lot negative about AT&T. I think that's because he worked for AT&T and didn't have the best of time working for them, and so that's why he always refers to like AT&T versus another company and so on and so forth. But he also suggests other companies as well, so I'm going to take it from a different standpoint and not trash AT&T and talk about other companies as well. So for instance, he compares Apple to like say Ford Motor Company. He gets into how Apple is a horizontal company, means that they don't do everything on their iPhone. Basically, they don't produce the semiconductors that run the phone. They don't produce a lot of stuff that goes into making that phone successful. Basically, they generate the operating system, and in there, he's like, there's some level of verticalness that isn't Apple because they do only have one operating system, and that's all that they do. But they allow tons of app developers to make apps for their phone. It's not like Apple is creating all the apps for the Apple phone. And so what he's saying is that horizontal companies do one thing really, really good, and they focus on making that basically able to produce that more and also offering at a cheaper cost. And the reason why he's saying that Apple is a good company for that reason is, like I was saying, they don't do everything to make an iPhone. They don't do everything to make a MacBook. They don't do everything to make an iPad. And then he also talked about another company called Ford, and he was talking more specifically about Ford earlier on in the days where they had like, I don't know what it was like. I think it was like 10th Avenue Road or something like that. Basically where it went from like steel mill to Model T or the actual Ford car, and how Ford did literally every single step of the way. And he was suggesting in there that would be more of a vertical company, a company that tries to do everything. And he was suggesting in there, he's like, yeah, from that standpoint, you can generate a lot more profits. But he was like, a horizontal company will take you out at the knees and basically be like, boom, and cut you running, because they're able to produce, say a company does a steering wheel. That's all they do. That's all they focus on, is just making steering wheels. And Ford makes steering wheels also. That company will be able to get the same product or same supplies, probably cheaper, and focus solely on making steering wheels and be able to bring those to market at a cheaper cost than what Ford sells it back to Ford. The steering wheel that Ford makes sells it to Ford at, basically. So it was interesting. I was like, I've never thought about it exactly like that in regards to why Apple is doing so well and maybe why Ford is not doing so well. This is the 5-year chart, by the way, if you guys were wondering. So I was like, So for me, hearing that, I'm thinking like, what are some other companies that are young, that are only like, this is our MO, this is what we're good at, and this is all we're going to do. Like, we're not trying to vertically integrate the process. For instance, I think about like Google. He was actually even mentioning Google. He's like, Google develops Android and then lets everybody else use Android's iOS on their phones. For instance, like HTC, Samsung Galaxy, all those phones utilize the Android operating system, and all Google does is just develop the Android operating system. That's all they do. They're like, we're really good at developing Android operating systems, and that's all we're going to do. Specifically also in like Google Ads, they don't try to go and do multimedia marketing through the TV. It's just, hey, we use search engines. This is how we do it. Boom, 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 boom. And we're not going to worry about anything else. I mean, I was surprised to see that Google developed a web browser, because that seems a little bit more vertical integration than what they actually are looking at, and also like Google Docs and that kind of thing. But he was saying that Google is actually more horizontal than even like an Apple or something like that. So I was like, So it's still making my mind like continue to think about what are some other companies that are like, this is what we do, this is what we're good at, and that's all we're going to do moving forward. And we're going to focus on getting the price of that product down and sell more. And I was like, very interesting. The reason why I bring that up is maybe it's time to start looking for other companies that are horizontal and not so much companies that are really, really trying to grow horizontal. That's like, or that's trying to go vertical. I think about another company that's a really vertical company, specifically a company I used to work for, U-Haul. They do everything from renting their own, buying the real estate for the buildings, doing the service on the trucks, basically building the cab, chassis, all that kind of stuff for the trucks. The only thing that they don't do is actually like build the truck engine. They buy Ford trucks, basically. So for me, I was like, maybe I shouldn't be looking at investing in a company that is trying to do it all. Like they have an IT guy that's specifically from U-Haul that comes out and services the center, and then you pay him. And you know, U-Haul gets paid because everything looks good on profit. The only thing is that the salesman at the very end of the day is not making the money. So on paper it looks great. Hey, this department made money. This department made money. This department made money. This department made money. And at the end of the day, we lost money because we're unable to compete with a company that is only doing one thing and working on bringing that cost down lower than us. It's interesting dynamic that he was talking about. So just some ideas when you're looking at companies is maybe look at companies that have that horizontal ability and looking to grow horizontally and not so much vertically. Anyways, guys, it has been real. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you all on the live stream where I give away half an ounce of silver every single Saturday for the person who has the most cake coin. Anyways, thanks for watching. And as always, I really appreciate it. See you guys.